What is good, guys, man? Thank you for tuning back into the channel, man. If you're new, make sure you hit that sub button down below to be notified for every single video that I drop, man. Listen, guys, if y'all have not tuned into part one of this video, I advise you to go look at part one first before you tune into part two. This is an hour-long video. I had to break it down in parts, guys, but it's a very, very interesting testimony that you will want to watch. It will probably create a change in you. Very scary, too, at the same time, man. As y'all see by the title, he said he was dead for 3 hours and 47 seconds and went to hell, and it felt like he was there for months. Let's go ahead and get into it. Tune into part one. The link will be down below in the comments if you want to look at part one. Okay, guys. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, man.
But you're stripped of everything God gave you. So even having movement, even that comes from God. See, we don't realize that. Even breathing and just feeling, that comes from God. But that was stripped. You get stripped of all of that by the time you make it there.
Were you thinking about outside at all, or
No,
like you weren't even thinking about the earth?
No,
You were
you
just
don't.
focused on this place.
Yeah, you don't. You're so petrified. You're so scared. You're not thinking about anything here. You're not thinking about a person. You're not thinking at that moment. You're not thinking about anything. I was so shocked and going through in the fear and the anxiety and just everything. You're not thinking. That's the last thing you're thinking about. You're not thinking about any of those things.
So when you realized where you were, what happened next?
I'm trying to get up, and it was so dark. She was just as dark, but all of a sudden, the only thing that illuminated that place, the first thing I saw before me were the pits, and they were like flames were coming up, and then you can see when these flames come up. That's how you can see. But when the first pit lit up, I saw it had to be thousands, as far as your eye can see, of these pits, and they were connected in rows, but they would go so far, like, I mean, it had to be miles and miles and miles of these pits. But inside these pits, there were people, okay? But what really caught my attention before I describe the people in the pits were these beasts around all the pits. They were like giants. Some of them were like, and they all had like a reptilian kind of theme to them. They all looked like reptile, nasty, deformed. Some of them had long arms, short arm with a long arm, bodies. But the giants that I saw, someone had to be like 13 to 18 feet tall. I mean, huge. I'm talking about ripped up muscles, huge. I mean, they
Like
were
humanoid? Were there humanoids?
humanoid.
Like,
Yes, they had legs, they had arms, they had chest muscles. They were very humanoid, but not even close to humans. Not even. They were so ugly, and the smell that I was smelling, they stink. It was
okay.
them. It was them. Like yeah, they stink. They horrible smell to them. Horrible smell, and a lot of them smell like sulfur too. Like that's why a lot of people who I've talked to who had experiences with demons, they always smell like a sulfuric smell. They stink. They smell bad. They smell they're horrible. But then I also saw demons as tall as this pin. They're small. You got some. They all sizes, all shapes, all sizes. But they had some of them had red eyes, some of them had yellow eyes with the slits in them. And some of their skins were scaly. Like I said, they had that reptile, like the reptilian type of look. But some of them didn't have the reptile look. Some of them were just so deformed and ugly, hairy. It just it just didn't make sense. Some of them were just so disproportionate. It didn't make any sense.
Did they notice you when you fell?
No, not right away. Not right away. One of them did, and that's how I look back because I never saw the Lord. I never saw the Lord. But now that I look back, He had to be with me to be protecting me because
Okay.
the hatred that they have for us, it is beyond description. It is beyond words. They hate. There's no form of hate here on this planet that can even get close to how they feel about us. They hate you so bad, you can feel it. The energy will kill you. If their hatred was in the form of a weapon, here on earth, you would die. You would die. They hate. When I say hate is an understatement.
That is
Hate
crazy.
would feel like love compared to the hatred that they have for us. Literally. Yeah. But as I looked at the pits and the people, some of them were like charred skeletons, charred, burned up skeletons. Some of them had flesh hanging off of them. Okay. And the thing is, they were trying to crawl out. And now, I mean, because once you get there, you know that you know. You know. You know pretty much everything. You can see a person in hell and know why they're there. There's no time there. There's no time that you have to take to learn because everything is connected. So you know that you know. And they were there to guard the people from coming out the pit. They had these spears and these ancient things, and people were trying to crawl out. They were sticking them, grabbing them, especially the big giant, grabbing them and throwing them right back into the pits and the lava. I mean, and then what got me though, like I was saying before, I forgot to mention was the screams and the yells. Okay, it moves your spirit. The sense of the way these people were screaming and in agony and the regret and the pain, it is beyond comprehension. Even right now as we speak, that place is going on right now. And that's what reminds me every day. It's happening right now as we speak. People are there right now, and it's so many people. It is so many people. But as I'm trying to get up and I look, and I'm looking at these pits, and I'm just now, I thought I was already scared and full of anxiety. Now it's just beyond. It keeps growing. There's no limit to fear in the spiritual realm. Just when you think, okay, I'm maxed out of my anxiety. I'm maxed out on my no. It keeps growing and it doesn't stop. There's no limit to how fearful you become. You know, I'm trying to get up. Then all of a sudden I felt something grab my head. And I can see the claw. This thing had to be huge, and it threw me. And when it threw me, I mean, the strength of this thing, it was like me picking up this pen and throwing this pen. It was like it was nothing. So I don't care what people say. Oh, I will go in down there and I'll fight. No, I'm sorry. No, it's not happening. I don't care if you're the strongest man on earth. You have nothing.
It's like you had no control, right? You have no control.
You have no control. You have no strength. It's like you didn't eat in months. You don't have no nutrients, no kind of muscle, none of that. That's out the window. That comes from God. And everything, nope, that's not there. So you can try your best if you want to, and there's nothing going to happen. So as I got hit this wall. But now as I noticed, Lord had to be with me because I didn't feel, because of the force that I was thrown, I would have felt, I knew I was going to feel the pain, because one thing I'm going to explain to everyone, like I explained before, my testimony is that here on the body, we have a nervous system, right? So if I was to touch you and just pinch your hand, you would feel it only on your hand. In the spirit world, there's no such thing. If you get hit in the hand, you feel it through your whole body simultaneously at the same time. You won't feel it just in an isolated place where you got pinched. You will feel it all at one time. From your head.
So pain also is more intense as well.
By a million. And that's an understatement. It is, see, because the spiritual world is people don't understand. Everything here physical is the leftovers from the spiritual world. That's why the Lord said your thoughts are more realer. That's why you get judged by your thoughts. Because that's what the real is. It's not, your action is just a reflex of your thoughts. So now I know what the Lord means by that, because the spiritual is way more realer than this. Everything here physical is leftovers from the spiritual world. That's why I say the pain is more real. Your senses are more heightened. Everything is more intense, way more intense. Okay. Now that's why I say when I got flung and I knew the Lord was there with me, is because I didn't feel, I expected so much more pain, but it wasn't. I felt pain, but it wasn't what I knew in my mind where I was calculating that it should be. But as I look up, I'm on the side and it's like a stone mountain, but in the mountain were jail cells, rows and rows of these cells as far as your eye can see up. Like, and I grew up in skyscrapers my whole life, and I know what it is to live in the sky, literally. But these things were so high, like they were built into the side of a mountain, and there were rows and rows of cells, like the old cells, not like the modern day jails with the door with the slit. No, the bars, and they look ancient, rusty. But instantly I knew, all of a sudden I started looking, and you can see people, activities, and all of these different cells. But then it would be like 3 feet apart, it'd be stones, another cell. Stones, another cell. Stone, 3 feet apart, like just estimating. 3 to 2
and all the way up.
All the way up. The same way I saw the pits all the way going across, these were all the way up as far as my eyes can see. Literally. Like I couldn't even see it no more, but you can still see cells. And instantly I knew these were ancient. I knew that the people were there for thousands of years. Thousands of years. I mean, I'm talking about biblical times. They've been in there since. You know, people can't even imagine because time, see, like we're so used to time here. You can't imagine no time. There is no time there. Time stops. There is no time in the spirit world. It doesn't exist. Time is only used in the physical manifestation for us to organize things and keep schedules. It doesn't exist. All hope is gone when you're there. There is no, at least, like for example, I was explaining back when I used to live my back life, because I did go to jail a couple of times. I was in jail. Okay. I had hope because I had an out date. Right. So you say, okay, I'm getting released in 8 months. That gives you some hope that I'm getting out of here in 8 months. But when you're in hell, there is no out date. There is no time. There is nothing no schedule. There is none that's gone. You know you're there. And the worst part is, I knew I deserved to be there. That was the thing that really got me. I had no rebuttals for me not being there. Okay?
So you weren't crying for mercy, you weren't calling out to God, nothing like that? No?
No. And that's another thing. See, the people don't understand. The things that I was hearing, you had a lot of people calling out to God. You had a lot of people asking for 5 more minutes, 1 more chance. Please, I'm sorry. Let me make it up to you. Can hear everything. That's another thing I want to add. Remember I was talking about the 5 senses being heightened? You can hear everybody screaming at one time, but you can individualize every person. You can individualize every scream. You can individualize. But then I heard a lot of blasphemous things towards God. I heard a lot of anger, a lot of cursing God out. I heard a lot of big time. People were angry.
Only people were making sounds. The demons weren't making any sounds, or whatever those
Oh
creatures
no,
were.
demons! Yeah. Oh, that was. I was going to get to that. When the demons were communicating with each other, they have their own language, and their whole language hurt my body every time they talked. Every time they talked.
So you never understood what they were saying.
Oh yeah, you understand everything. I'm going to use the term. You overstand everything that they saying. What they was communicating back and forth, they were calling us stupid humans. When they were grabbing and torturing humans and doing all type of things, they were calling us stupid and they were laughing. They laughed, they enjoy it. Because what I found out and what I saw myself through my experience is that they get energy off our pain. They eat it. It's a form of food to them. It's like a drug to them. They get high off of it. That's why they're here on earth. They keep us depressed, angry, full of anxiety, because they're feeding off that. That's their food. They literally eat that. So they cause situations for you to feel that way so they can eat. They eat off that. And in hell, they have an abundance, nonstop supply of food because all they do is torture. They say if your arm gets ripped off, your arm will grow right back. Rejuvenate. And it happens over and over and over again. Like I say, I saw tons of people there where they were ripping over their mouth and pouring hot lava down their throats. They'll melt and they'll come right back and they'll do it all over again. And then they invite other demons to come and get their turn. Like I was also mentioning about promiscuous women who were there and men. But I saw my experience. I saw majority of what I saw with the women being raped by demons. This one lady was being raped and tortured so bad sexually that I'm not going to say it on here, but it's beyond horrible. But I'm talking about, it's and then some of the tortures are so bad. I still to this day I can smell a certain smell, especially matches. I don't like the smell of matches at all because it brings me back to that. It reminds me of that. Yeah, it does, like PTSD big time. I don't like that. But
your wife said you said something about I think it wasn't the last one I listened to actually. You said you saw pastors and people like that there. Could you explain?
Yes, you know what? And I saw, and a lot of them were still dressed in suits. Okay, there was like a cavern, like a cave, and a lot of them were just sitting there, like they were waiting. Well, the demons would come in, especially the giant ones, and snatch them up and throw them in boxes. They were throwing these pastors in boxes. They had all types of stuff for them. They had all types of, like they had a field day with the pastors, the fake pastors. I'm going to be honest. A lot of them were just misusing their authority that God gave them. Okay. For one example, they threw this one pastor in a box, and it was an old nasty box, but the box was filled with hot coals in it. So when they throw them in it and they close it, you can hear them. I mean, the screams are beyond. Like you can feel it. You can feel it's just the anguish and the pain. And they were throwing these things in them. They were stabbing this. They were ripping people apart. They were eating people, especially the pastors. They had they had a real good time with them. They were enjoying, like, really. A lot of people who I saw were a part of the church. Like I said, you can look at somebody in hell and know why they're there. There's no ifs, ands, about it. Like, if somebody was to look at me, they'll know why I was there.
The people that were in church,
Mhm.
what were some of the sins that they did? Like
I
that
saw more gossipers in hell than anything from the church.
Wow.
Gossip, backstabbing, lust in the church, right? But the most of all was the gossiping, because people don't understand the power of gossip. They don't understand how powerful it is, how you can hurt somebody's life for just, you know what I mean? It was so many people down there for gossiping, you know. They smile in your face, but then, oh, look at Sister Clark, or look at brother so-and-so. But then you're in church praying with them instead of praying for them. See, when you talk about somebody's problem, you better have a solution. If not, it's gossip. Plain and simple. If you're going to talk about someone's problem, you better be willing to help that person. If not, don't talk about it and stay out of their business, because that's serious. God doesn't play with gossip. And I saw that firsthand. God does not play when it comes to gossip.
And the pastors that were there, were they like fake pastors in the sense of like, what were they doing exactly?
I
Like,
call it
what did they do?
They were popcorn Christians. What I mean by popcorn Christianity is a term that me and my friends came up with, is because they're okay, like a popcorn kernel is hard, right? A kernel of popcorn. But when you apply heat to it, it puffs up and it turns soft. That's what they were. They were acting like they were really hardened for the Lord, that they were really solid, but then the heat and the pressures of the world turned them soft and they became worldly.
Okay.
And they're fake.
So
they use the word,
worldliness.
yes. And a lot of them are, like I always say, intellectual parrots, meaning they know the scriptures inside and out. They sound good. They sound, but they don't live them. They don't live them. They fool the people. That's why I tell the people, it's not up to the pastor or your deacon or your bishop to establish your personal relationship with the Lord. That's up to you, because a relationship with the Lord is ultra personal. It's not their responsibility. And you can be, even the Lord says, don't follow a man, because you never know who you are following. So why they think, oh yeah, brother told me to do this, or sisters told me to do this, and yeah, they're a man or woman of God, they lead you right to hell.
Wow.
Because you don't have.
I heard you said unforgiveness too. You said unforgiveness too, right?
I was going to mention that next. The top two. The top one is gossip. The next one is unforgiveness. You know how many people say, I forgive, but I won't forget? That's not forgiveness. See, when God forgives us, it's deleted from the universe. It's gone. He doesn't remember, clearly doesn't remember. You can try to say, hey, Lord, remember I did this? He's going to say, what are you talking about? Because it's been deleted from his heart. We don't do that. We say we forgive you and still have in the back of our mind reservations and judge that person and still kind of say, I'm just going to, you know, and I saw so many people there for that. See, people don't understand. Yeah, see, we unqualify and disqualify ourselves from going to paradise. Paradise in heaven cannot have 1 ounce of filth in it. If so, you will corrupt it. So that's why we need the Lord as a mediator to make sure he washes us from that.
What if you could clean your retainer at the touch of a button? No more brushing or tablets. Over 4 years ago,
because we're all imperfect. We're going to fall. We're going to have flaws. But our relationship with him and his grace, he washes us clean from that so we can enter paradise. Because you cannot have 1 blemish on you. It's like if you have a fresh basket of apples and you put one in with a little mold on it, what's going to happen to the rest of those apples?
The whole bunch is going to be spoiled.
Exactly. So therefore, we disqualify ourselves from getting into heaven because we're so blemished. And then we think we can do it on our own. We can't do it without him. There's no way we can cleanse ourselves the way we need to be cleansed to be on that frequency of heaven. So we disqualify ourselves all the time.
Some people would say that they would say, well, you know what? Once they're covered, and you know, like the pastor, for instance, he's okay even if he mess up. You know, like he's covered, past, present, future sin, and the other gossipers or people unforgiveness is fine because you're covered.
Sure,
and that's something that people say. Like I saw another testimony of a pastor in Africa, very very gripping health testimony. He said it was unforgiveness that caused him to go to hell.
See, and that's what I'm saying. And those who say that, they obviously don't read the scriptures. Because clearly in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26 says, if you commit a sin and you know thereof that it's a sin, there is no sacrifice that can save you. See? Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26. So all that once saved, always saved, that comes from the pits of hell itself. It's a lie. It's a lie. If that's the case, I might as well go back to the life I used to live. I got saved, so I might as well just go, let's go kick it, man. You know, hey, let's go have fun. Let's go do what we need to do then.
Those are fighting words, right? Because
Yeah.
in hell testimonies, you always have people in the comment section that talk about that, right? They
Mhm.
always talk about it. Even when I shared my outer darkness experience. So when you spoke about the little pin, the light, I saw that. My thing was just this pitch black place that looks like a cave, right? I found myself in this place,
Mhm.
and when I realized, just like you said, the hopelessness, there was a palpable sense of, as you said, you cannot get out. You know that
Yeah.
you're stuck there forever.
Yes.
And this hopelessness was beyond anything I can describe.
Oh my gosh, I had to stop it right there, guys, man. Man, unforgiveness, gossiping. You know, even when you think you forgave somebody and you say you never forget, that is still bad in the eyes of God. You know what I'm saying? He said, demons, language sends pain through your body in hell. Crazy, 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 crazy testimony, man. Tune in for part 3, guys, man. Part 3 will be coming very, very fast. As soon as I get from work, I'm going to be reacting to part 3. Y'all might be getting part 3 tonight. And then we're going to put the whole video out, man. If y'all enjoyed this testimony, comment down below. Tell me what you're learning from it and whatnot. I mean, what's some things that shock you about it? Make sure y'all share these videos also on y'all Instagram, your Facebook, whatever the case may be. Let's spread the word. Let's spread the knowledge. Without further ado, man, at the end of my video, I'll say stay inspired, stay motivated, stay grinding. Until next video, I'm out of here. Peace.